different types of accounts, different types of traditional accounts that are listed, which includes the personal account, and you have what is called the nominal account and the real account. Now we'll go through some examples with respect to these classifications of accounts. So first we'll consider the personal account. So you take the example, say received an amount from say Mr. X. Suppose you consider the amount to be rupees 5,000. Now, as I said, with respect to the personal account, the rule that you need to remember, this is the most important part. You need to remember the rule as with respect to the personal account. The rule is debit the receiver, credit the giver. So when you write the corresponding transaction, you are having the transaction as received an amount from Mr. X and the amount is rupees 5,000. So when you write the corresponding transaction, you need to write the debit side first, then you need to write the credit side. So here rule is debit the receiver, credit the giver. So it is received an amount from Mr. X. So Mr. X is the giver and you are receiving an amount, say rupees 5,000. You are receiving 5,000 as cash. So you can write it as cash account debit 5,000, and the next part is credit the giver. So it is to X account. Again, the amount is 5,000. Now you consider another example, the loan amount paid to bank. For example, say rupees 10,000. So the loan amount, it is paid to the bank. So you are paying certain amount as loan amount to the bank. So you can consider here bank is the receiver and you are paying say rupees 10,000. So you are the giver. So you need to consider the bank account as debit side or DR. So you are having it is 10,000 and to cash account it is 10,000. So here you are debiting the receiver, crediting the giver. So bank account is the receiver and cash account is the giver. So you debit the bank account and you credit the cash account. So this is with respect to the personal account. Now we will consider the next case, which is the real account. So real accounts are permanent accounts where we talk about say tangible and intangible assets. We already discussed what is tangible assets and what are intangible assets. So tangible assets, we can see that asset is, for example, you would consider the equipments that are available in an industry. So that equipment is actually a visible equipment and it is an asset. So you call that as a tangible asset. Now, as an intangible asset, you can consider an example. Say, for example, these are not actually visible, which means you can consider the goodwill with respect to an industry or the patents with respect to an industry. So all those you can consider under what are called the intangible assets. So with respect to the real account or the permanent accounts, you can consider again here you need to remember this as the rule, which means the rule is debit what comes in and credit what goes out. Earlier the rule with respect to the personal account was debit the receiver and credit the giver. Here, with respect to the real accounts, with respect to say machinery, with respect to the goodwill, etc., you need to consider the rule as debit what comes in and credit what goes out. So, for example, consider you are purchasing a heat exchanger worth rupees 1 lakh. So, this heat exchanger is actually an asset. You are purchasing a heat exchanger worth rupees 1 lakh. So heat exchanger is the asset that you are purchasing. So here you are getting a heat exchanger by giving an amount of say rupees 1 lakh. So heat exchanger account you can consider. So here what you are doing is debit what comes in and credit was what goes out. So here what goes out is you are paying say rupees 1 lakh and what comes in is actually you are getting a heat exchanger. So you can consider or you can write this particular transaction as heat exchanger account via rupees 1 lakh and to cash account you are paying amount as cash. So to cash account you need to represent that as the credit or the credit side it will be writing it as to cash account rupees 1 lakh. Then sold furniture for rupees 1,000. This is another example that you can consider. sold furniture for rupees 1000. So cash account and furniture account. So here you are selling a furniture for rupees 1000. So what comes in is actually a cash amount of rupees 1000, and what goes out is actually the furniture. So what comes in you need to debit, and what goes out you need to credit. So cash account is actually what comes in, so you need to write it in the debit side. So it is 1000 in the debit side. And to furniture account, so what goes out is the furniture. You are selling the furniture, so what goes out is the furniture, so that should be in the credit side. So this is an example with respect to the real account. Now we will consider the third class of traditional account, which is the nominal account. So these are the accounts that are closed at the end of accounting period. So for example, you are considering the accounting period as 1 year. So all these nominal accounts are closed at the end of the accounting period. So here you need to again consider the rule. So you have 3 different rules for 3 different accounts. Earlier we considered what is a personal account, then we considered what is a real account, and we have gone through what are the rules with respect to personal account and the real account. Now with respect to the nominal account, what you need to consider or remember is the rule is debit expenses and losses, credit incomes and gains. The rule is debit expenses and losses, credit incomes and gains. So let us take the example. You are paying the rent amount of say rupees 5000. A rent amount is paid and the amount that you are paying is rupees 5000. So here debit expenses and losses, credit incomes and gains. So here the debit expenses and losses, you are considering this rent that is paid is an expense. The rent that is paid is an expense. So you need to debit the rent or debit the corresponding account. So you will be writing it as rent account in the debit side, which is amount is 5000, and you are paying it as cash. So cash account will be the credit side. So to cash account, you'll be crediting say 5000. So this is one example. Now you consider another example, which is the interest received rupees 500. You are receiving an interest of rupees 500. So rule is debit expenses and losses, credit incomes and gains. So this interest received is actually an income or a gain that you can consider with respect to your account. So you will be representing this in the credit side. So cash account will be the debit side. You are getting rupees 500, which means you are having that interest account is the credit side. So interest account, you will be representing it as 500, which will be credited, and cash account is the section where you are debiting say 500. So you are writing cash account, the debit side rupees 500, and interest account you will be representing in the credit side, you will be representing it as 500. So these are the examples and these are the rules that you need to remember, because to write the or to go through the next sections, you need to remember these 3 specific rules, which are rules with respect to personal account, real account and the nominal account.